Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Chief Leibold, Chief Monk, Chief Ash, Chief Dent, Chief Kopczynski, other chief officers, fellow firefighters, friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the graduation of Hampton Roads Recruit Fire Academy, class number 9. My name is Scott Doggett, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies tonight. At this time, I'd like to welcome Battalion Chief Wesley Rogers, the Director of Hampton Roads Recruit Fire Academy, class number 9, for a few opening remarks. Chief.
Thank you, Scott. Good evening and welcome as we celebrate the accomplishment and the graduation of Hampton Roads Recruit Fire Academy class number 9. The journey of these men and women started on September 4, 2018, and it would be the toughest 18 weeks that many of them would endure. On the first day of the academy, each of the chief officers sitting on the stage this evening met with the class to offer advice, to talk about their experiences, and most importantly, to offer words of encouragement as they begin their career. They also explained of how the fire service is immersed with tradition in all aspects of its operation, including the Fire Academy program. In 1979, the regional fire departments established the Tidewater Regional Fire Academy as a consortium to provide like training in the areas of firefighting, rescue operations, and the broad scope of responsibilities of firefighters. In the threat of a natural or man-made disaster, the regional cooperation principle would allow all departments to work together seamlessly to mitigate the hazards and to provide for the safety of the citizens. For the last 38 years, the Tidewater Regional Fire Academy Consortium would graduate thousands of firefighters in the region. Then in 2017, the Tidewater Regional Fire Academy, along with the Southside jurisdictions and the Southside Regional Fire Academy, combined to form the Hampton Roads Recruit Fire Academy, HRRFA. Tonight, we celebrate this long and proud tradition with class number 9, a combination of the jurisdictions of Williamsburg, James City County, York County, Hampton, and Newport News. Before I proceed with remarks to the students, I would be truly remiss if I did not acknowledge the tireless dedication and selfless sacrifice demonstrated by the cadre of instructors that made this academy possible. Each of these men and women are gifted instructors with a wealth of knowledge and experience. They have mastered their craft and have demonstrated remarkable leadership and have a unique ability to provide quality training and guidance. I would like to take a moment to recognize each of them now. After I've recognized all the instructors and they are standing, please join me in a round of applause. The coordinator, Captain Dave Rich. The co-coordinator, Lieutenant Pat McCormick. The lead instructor, Captain Denny West. Instructor, Lieutenant Mike Campbell. Instructor, Lieutenant Brandon Shepard. Instructor, Captain Brian Heinzman. Instructor, Scott Doggett. Instructor, Master Firefighter Betsy Sink. And there are a list of other instructors that are not on the stage tonight, but are located not only in the audience, but working on shift tonight. And we truly appreciate their support in making this program possible. Please join me in a round of applause. Thank you. As the director of HRRFA number 9, the recruits had to hear my welcome speech on their first day. And although I'm sure they remembered everything I said, well, let's just be honest, they probably don't remember anything that we said on that first day. So tonight, I would like to remind each of you of what we talked about that first day and something that I would like for each of you to reflect on throughout your career. The fire service is a noble profession, and you have dedicated your life to a purpose much greater than yourselves. We are public servants who must dedicate our lives to becoming proficient adherents and leaders of our profession. A firefighter is expected to remain calm and maintain concentration during the most tragic moment of people's lives, all while retaining empathy and the quiet pride of knowing that you have made a difference. In the words of Chief Croker, firefighters do not regard themselves as heroes, but they do what the business requires. This program has provided the first step in what I hope is a long career in the fire service. Work hard, constantly challenge yourselves, advance your education, and be a positive influence on those around you. My hope is that one day, many years from now, that each of you will carry on the fire service tradition and you will become part of the cadre of instructors preparing the next generation of firefighters. Congratulations, and I am honored to see each of you walk across the stage tonight. And to the family and friends here tonight, thank you for all your support. Without them and without you, the first phase of their career would not have been possible. So thank you.
Captain Brian Heinzman is tonight's guest speaker. Captain Heinzman has been in the fire department, I believe I read, since 2005. Is that right, Captain, when you came with James City? And he is tonight's chosen by the students guest speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Captain Brian Heinzman.
Well, thank you, Scott. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Chiefs, distinguished guests, family and friends, and of course our graduates of Hampton Roads Recruit Fire Academy Class Number 9. I'm honored and humbled to be here tonight as your guest speaker. To the graduates, tonight is the culmination of your transformation process. You entered the academy 4 months ago as a recruit, and you will leave here tonight a firefighter. In the days ahead, you will report to your first duty assignment, which is what the last 4 months has prepared you for. It is a time filled of excitement and trepidation. Excitement to be done with the academy and starting your career on the floor, and trepidation at what is in store for you and what is expected of you from this point forward. Now I realize that I'm one of the few obstacles remaining between you pinning your badges and receiving your station assignments, which is the moment you're all waiting for. I also know that in the momentousness of this occasion, you probably won't remember much of what I say here tonight. When I was asked by Mr. Burks if I would speak this evening, I thought back to my academy graduation for some inspiration. And I'm embarrassed and a little ashamed to say it, but I don't remember who our guest speaker was back then, nor do I remember what they talked about. So that doesn't bode well for me up here on the podium. I asked several of my former classmates as well, and they didn't remember either. So, in an interest of keeping this meaningful to you all, and in an attempt to part some words of wisdom and advice that you will remember after leaving here tonight, I want to talk to you about expectations. Whether they explain to you or not in the days ahead, your officer and crew will expect certain things from you as new academy graduates. Knowing and understanding leadership expectations provides you with the purpose, motivation, and direction you need to succeed at your new assignment. Hopefully, your officer will take the time to sit down with you and explain what those expectations are. For it is difficult to do your job well if you have no foundation on which to base your actions. As a company officer, I'll share with you and explain the background behind some of the expectations that I have for new members assigned to my crew. While I cannot speak for every fire officer in the fire service, I think what I'm about to tell you is fairly consistent and sound guidance as far as expectations go at this point in your career, and hopefully you find it useful. So the first expectation I have is to be on time. There's an old saying I learned years ago in the Army that goes like this: if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're fired. I hear some giggles in the back. Several years ago, as a newly promoted company officer, I actually wrote that statement in my written expectations to my crew. And on my first day assigned as a captain in the fire service, I gathered my crew around the kitchen table, and I handed them each a 2-page document of my expectations. And after we discussed them, I had each member of my crew sign at the bottom of the page to acknowledge that they understood what I expected of them. While there was nothing earth-shattering regarding my expectations, the fact that I had my crew sign them caused concern over one phrase that I had written: if you're late, you're fired. In the days ahead, some sentiments festered, some feelings got hurt, and at the most inopportune time, I went on vacation. And timing is everything. While I was gone, there was a near mutiny within my crew. The firehouse lawyers were ready to call my bluff to see how I was going to fire them for showing up to work late when they were actually on time. I tell you that story to tell you this: your company officer cannot fire you. Since that first foray into sharing my expectations, I have changed the phrase to read, "If you're early, you're on time, and you won't be late." It's a true statement, and it's much easier to digest that way. But there are reasons that I stress punctuality with my crew. For starters, there's an unwritten code within the fire service that you show up early to work. We can't force you to show up early. I'm not going to pay you overtime for it. I'm not going to give you comp time for coming in early. It's not a requirement, though it is recommended and a highly encouraged practice. If your shift starts at 08, as ours does, try to be there 30, 45 minutes early. If a late call comes in, you're available to relieve a member of the off-going crew so that they can make it home to their families, their part-time job, or to training on time. It's a professional courtesy that will be paid and repaid throughout your career. Showing up early to work also provides time for fellowship. Grab a cup of coffee, take a seat at the kitchen table, and spend some time with members of the department that you may not work with on a daily basis. In the firehouse, the kitchen table is where the previous day's events are recounted and debated. And in the process, an informal transfer of knowledge and experience takes place. But you have to be present to partake in and benefit from this opportunity. If you show up early to work now, early in your career as a probationary firefighter, you will earn the respect and confidence of the veterans you work with. Your first impression is often a lasting impression. Being early to work is a good place to start. Showing up early to training, PT, or other events that may be scheduled by your company officer throughout the day will prove your reliability and your dedication to your officer, your crew, and your organization. Remember, if you're early, you're on time, and you won't be late. My second expectation is that you're professional and respectful. Professionalism is about knowing your job and doing it well, being technically and tactically proficient, and being confident in your knowledge, skills, and abilities. When you show up on scene with confidence and you execute a given task to standard, the public will view you as the professional that you are. You are now part of a community-oriented, service-driven profession, a calling that places the needs of others ahead of your own. Anytime you're in uniform, anytime you're out of the station, you're in the public eye. Have the integrity and personal fortitude to do what is right, what is legally, morally, and ethically right, even when no one is watching. Chief Rick Lasky of Pride and Ownership fame says, "Get caught doing something right, because anyone can catch you doing something wrong." It only takes one unprofessional act to erode the public's trust in us, and once that trust is gone, it's very difficult to regain. Part of being a professional is looking and acting the part. Take pride in your appearance and your equipment, for pride instills ownership. Your departments will spend thousands of dollars to clothe and train you, and millions of dollars over the course of your career to ensure you have the necessary stations, equipment, and apparatus to effectively and successfully execute your duties. Treat this equipment like your own. For a third of the year, it is. Ownership imparts loyalty to your crew and your department, and loyalty breeds honor and a sense of duty and responsibility to those you serve and those you serve with. These terms are values that we hold dear as a fire service, but they mean little without the essence of professionalism that guides our daily actions. Where respect is concerned, treat others as they should be treated, as you would want to be treated, or as you would want your family members to be treated. The late Alan Bernasini gave the public a name, Mrs. Smith, and stressed the importance of being nice, which entails the basic behaviors of respect, kindness, patience, and consideration. Your best day as a firefighter is someone else's worst. You may not like every patient or citizen you have contact with, but a standard of care is the standard of care for everyone. Likewise, a standard of service delivery is the standard of service to be delivered every time you leave the station. As professionals in a customer service-oriented occupation, showing respect goes a long way to building the public's trust in you and the organization. Within both the fire service and the military, there's a saying that I have heard many times in my career, that you have to respect the rank, but not the individual. I respectfully disagree. While there's a chain of command in the fire department that should be followed and adhered to, rank aside, everyone should be treated humanely with dignity and respect. You may not like, nor do you have to like, everyone you work with, but remember, you will be with them 24 hours a day for a third of the year. By taking this job, you have inherited a second family, like them or not. There's no place in this family, in this profession, for harassment, hazing, or discrimination. It won't be tolerated. Act like a professional and treat others with dignity and respect at all times. My third expectation is to listen. In today's age of technology and interconnectedness, we often receive instant feedback and gratification, which breeds impatience. While emergency incident scenes are often fast-paced and chaotic, much can be gained from simply listening to those around you and those above you. While listening to a bunch of unnecessary radio traffic at a fire scene one evening, a good friend of mine commented, "Someone should tell them it's not a push-to-talk button, but a release to listen." There's a lesson in that statement for all of us. There's a reason that active listening is part of every officer development and leadership course curriculum. It's that important. Retired Fire Chief Richard Gassaway has built himself a second career on the premise that situational awareness matters, and it absolutely does. In most instances, situational awareness can be gathered or enhanced by simply listening to what's going on around you. Pick up and read any NIOSH line of duty death report, and you will find communication failure as a contributing factor to the negative outcome of the incident. It's very easy to find yourself overwhelmed in this job, especially early in your career. Listening and maintaining your situational awareness will go a long way to alleviating this feeling. There's more to listening, however, than maintaining situational awareness alone. In a recent blog post on fire engineering, Chief Joseph Kitchen, with 28 years of experience in the fire service, wrote a letter to himself as a 19-year-old rookie firefighter. Reflecting on his nearly 30 years of service, this letter is what Chief Kitchen wished he had known from the outset as a probationary firefighter. And this is what he had to say about listening. When a senior firefighter takes some time out to show you something, listen to everything they say. Don't ever tell them you already know it. If they are taking their time to teach you something, give them the respect they deserve. Let them teach you. Someday, these guys will all be gone. Learn everything you can from them while they are still here. Thank them for showing an interest in you. For the past 2 years, I've been extremely fortunate to have one of the most senior members of the department on my crew. And while he is old and slow and a bit crazy, he's a wealth of knowledge that is truly irreplaceable. When he speaks, I listen. While he will tell you that he was retired on duty and that he precepts new paramedics so that he doesn't have to do any work, he's a true mentor and an informal leader within the firehouse. When he speaks, I listen. And then I thank him for sharing the knowledge that so many others take for granted. The lesson here is to be receptive to others when they offer you mentorship opportunities. Swallow your pride, show some humility, and listen to what they're trying to teach you. It is difficult at times to admit that we do not know everything we think we should know. I'll be the first to tell you that I do not have all the answers, and I know you don't either, and that's okay. Listening will help you overcome that. My final expectations are to be the best that you can be and to never stop learning. When I was a sophomore in high school, I was the catcher on our varsity baseball team. We had some great players that year, and the potential was there to have an outstanding season. But halfway through our 20 regular season games, we had a losing record, and we weren't playing well at all. The high school I attended was in the northwest corner of Connecticut, where I grew up, in the Berkshire Hills. And the school itself sat on a plateau overlooking a river. And our sports fields were located on the floodplain between the school and the water. On our way out to practice, one afternoon, our coach told us to sit on the hill that led to the fields and to wait for him there because he wanted to talk to us. And we thought we were in for it. There was no overall lack of effort on the team. We weren't pulling our weight. There was little team cohesion to that point in the season. When our coach finally came down to talk to us, he wasn't upset with us as individuals. He wanted to make sure that we were achieving all that we could, both on and off the field, in all the different facets of our life. His message was simple: be the best that you can be at everything you do. Now, at face value, that seems overwhelming. Be the best at everything, all the time. But then Coach broke it down for us in a manner that I hadn't thought of before. He said, when you're at practice, be the best teammate and baseball player that you can be. When you go home tonight with your family, be the best son or brother that you can be. In class tomorrow, be the best student that you can be. You all get the gist of the message. He was saying, strive for excellence, but apply that effort to the context in which you find yourself. To apply this logic to the fire service, when you report to work, get your first duty assignment, be the best coworker and subordinate that you can be. When you respond on a run, be the best firefighter, medic, or crew member that you can be. During training, be the best student that you can be. And when you go home at the end of your shift, be the best spouse, parent, sibling, son or daughter that you can be. You won't always be happy with your effort or performance. We are our own worst critics, and we all have bad days. But situations change, and every new situation you find yourself in is an opportunity to succeed by giving it your all. Learn from the times when you don't perform to your full capabilities and strive to improve on those opportunities in the future. Speaking of learning, you spent the last 4 months learning through a structured academy setting, but that is just the foundation for your career ahead. In the Army, we view basic training as a transformation process. We take a civilian off the street and we transform them into a soldier. The Fire Academy, while not a residential institution, has in essence done the same thing for you. Tonight you can officially call yourselves firefighters, though in reality your learning has just begun. The fire service is an extremely complex profession. For those not familiar with what we do, there's a lot more to this job than putting out fires. In the course of any given 24-hour shift, we can change batteries and smoke detectors that are chirping, transport both critical and non-critical patients to the hospital, contain a hazardous material leak at a vehicle accident, assist an elderly or disabled resident off the floor, and yes, put out an occasional structure, vehicle, or brush fire. Add to this apparatus checks and inventories, station maintenance, training, PT, and inspections, and your day will fill up quickly. Needless to say, there's not enough time in the day to train on everything we are expected to know, and the list of what we are expected to know and remember keeps growing. Gordon Graham emphasizes the importance of training on low-frequency, high-risk events, as these are the most dangerous incidents we will encounter. I feel that the best way to overcome these events is to hone your technical and tactical proficiency and to be competent in the basics. But the basics change. The fire service is always changing. Some say it's progress. The old-timers say it's cyclical, that we're going back to the way we did things in the past. Either way, the basics you learn over the past 4 months will not be the same basics that recruits learn 10 years from now. Over the course of the next year, you'll have a lot to learn as a probationary firefighter as you complete your rookie books, your response district, apparatus and equipment at your station, department response procedures, tactical administrative policies and guidelines, EMS protocols, reporting software, the list goes on. At this point in your career, you should be in the books or on the bay floor learning something new every day that you work. That is what we expect of you. Your officer and crew will not hold your hand to walk you through every step of the probationary process. Demonstrate some initiative by taking ownership of your on-the-job training. Show your officer and crew that you are willing and eager to learn. Be inquisitive and be aggressive in your quest for knowledge. Let your actions speak louder than words. Stay off your cell phones, get your hands on the equipment at your station, and learn. You also learn some life skills. For some of you, this may be your first experience living away from home. We spend a third of the year on average at the firehouse with our crews. They truly are a second family, with more than enough crazy uncles and nagging in-laws to go around. If you've never been responsible for doing your own laundry, checking the oil level or tire pressure on your vehicle, or mopping the floor or cleaning the toilet in your house, you will learn how to do these things to standard in the days ahead. If you've never been responsible for cooking a meal for 8 to 10 people on a fixed budget, you'll learn how to do this too. You'll become domestic in ways you never thought possible, and you'll pick up skill sets that you never imagined, all by working for the fire department. When you've mastered the life skills section of station life and you have completed your rookie book, seek out additional learning opportunities. Train or drill on something every day. Stay abreast of changes within the fire service, and never assume that what you learned over the past 4 months will be enough to carry you through the rest of your career. The Virginia Department of Fire programs and the National Fire Academy are great resources to continue your education. Attend a lecture, conference, or seminar to broaden your horizons. Find what your passion is and excel at it. It is impossible to be an expert at everything within the fire service. Believe me, I've tried. The basics aside, there's something for everyone in the fire service, something that will drive you to new and greater heights. Find that passion and become the subject matter expert on the topic for your crew and your organization. Never stop learning. I would be remiss as I finish this out if I didn't take a minute to acknowledge that expectations are a two-way street. To the chiefs, company officers, and informal leaders in the room tonight, our graduates have expectations of us that we must satisfy to maintain their trust and confidence in our leadership abilities. For starters, They expect to be provided for and taken care of. Give them the equipment needed to do their job and keep them safe in the process. They expect to be treated fairly and with respect as the professionals they are. And they expect to be trained and held to a standard that will get them through their probationary period and set them up for success over the rest of their career. Our graduates expect clear and open lines of communication both up and down the chain of command, for honesty and being in the know is half the battle. And lastly, they expect us to lead by example, to set the standard for them to follow, and to never ask them to do what we are not willing to do ourselves. To the chiefs, company officers, and informal leaders in the room, I challenge you to meet the expectations of our graduates, as you expect them to meet yours. In closing, I leave you, graduates of Class 9, with the following words of advice. Be on time, act like the professionals you are, treat others with dignity and respect, listen to those around you, be the best that you can be in any given situation, and never stop learning. Congratulations on this first of many milestones in your career. I wish you luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Captain, thank you very much. Now I'd like to call to the podium for the President's speech, Recruit Brett Hogg.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, respective agencies, distinguished visitors and guests, to the graduation ceremony of HRRFA Class 9. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Brett Hogg, the President of HRRFA Class 9. Today marks the end of a 4-month journey where we started as individuals and have grown into a family. When the Academy first started, we were given the chance to go around the room and tell the class a little bit about ourselves and why each of us wanted to be there and become a firefighter. Along with us introducing ourselves, officers from each jurisdiction walked into the room and introduced themselves. We were told many things during that first morning, and one thing that really stood out, we were told, don't let every day be your first day. We would hear that many more times throughout the academy. We had early mornings of physical training where we had to be on the line with everybody's gear laid out the same way at exactly 7 o'clock every morning. PT was the chance for us to push ourselves, so when that time comes to rescue that victim from a burning house, we can do that. PT was tough, and some days were harder than others, like the first time our class performed drills like the Anaconda drill, where you have to pull a charged 3-inch hose line 300 feet one way and back 300 feet the other way. Or the first time our class performed field crawls, where you crawl on your stomach carrying tools like a high-rise pack or a Halligan bar. We had early mornings of physical agility tests and work performance tests throughout the academy to show our improvements in our physical training. Early on in the academy, we learned how to tie knots, and we were given a piece of rope, which we all had to have as a part of our uniform and carry and be tied the same way each and every day. That piece of rope and the knots we learned how to tie would also become part of our early morning PT. We learned that days we thought we had nothing left and we were worn out and physically exhausted was actually only our 40%, and we had a lot more to give. Along with all the physical training, there was a lot of academics involved as well. We had to maintain an 80 or higher GPA on all quizzes and tests, and performed exercises like burpees or push-ups for tiny infractions. Every missed question on a test was a push-up, every failure was 25 burpees, and every attention to detail was a minute wall sit. So you can imagine we did plenty of those. All the adversity we faced has taught us many lessons that will stay with us for the remainder of our careers. Attention to detail, situational awareness, and discipline, to name a few. We would have inter-squad competitions with ourselves and the instructor some days. Some days it was throwing ladders and tying a clove hitch blindfolded, and if we tied the ladder off correctly, Lieutenant McCormick would do 10 push-ups. And if we tied the ladder off wrong, we would do 10 push-ups together as a squad. We also would have competitions on deploying hose, where 2 squads would have to deploy 200 feet of 1 3/4 attack line to a simulated door and mask up before the other squad. We had a relay race one morning that the instructors called the reindeer games that we did for PT that incorporated some of the many skills we learned through the academy. We were told, don't train until you get it right, train until you can't get it wrong. So when you receive that call at 3 in the morning for a structure fire and you are told to throw a ladder to the delta side of the house for a secondary means of egress, you know to check for any overhead obstructions and how to throw that ladder and tie that off as quickly as possible, so that if your brother or sister on the inside needs another way out, he or she can trust that you've done your job and can escape through that window. The instructors and training staff of this academy have taught us many important skills over the last 4 months and have influenced us in many of the things we say and now do. If you've seen our class sweatshirts and hear us refer to one another as Bad Larry, then you can thank our instructors. If you hear us say things like, can't turn on a dime and get 9-cent change, then you can thank our instructors. We know that by graduating tonight, we carry each of your names with us to the floor. And we know y'all have given us the tools to excel. Now it's our turn to display them. This is a profession of constant learning, and we have been given what we need to start our careers. Our class would have our weekly reality checks, where we would all come together and talk about what we need to do to be better. During one of these talks, one of the instructors came in and gave us a little speech, which we will take with us from here as well. We were told never to strive for mediocrity and that we were given the basics, but to never stop taking classes, and if a class opens up across the state, to take it. And take as many of them as you can, and to never settle and never become comfortable. So can everyone give a round of applause for the instructors of HRFA Class 9? I would like to take a moment to talk about my class. These 17 individuals were some of the best individuals I could have ever had the chance to work with. We come from many walks of life, from places like Canada to right around the corner here in Newport News, and even the two Matthews boys, Willie and myself. Some are right out of high school, and some are working on their second career, and others come from jobs like the shipyard. We had our 18-year-old, Morrison, and our 38-year-old, Waldman. We also had 3 paramedics in the class, Waldron, Cody, and Soma. Our class would spend most Friday nights after we would be dismissed at places like Buffalo Wild Wings, the bowling alley, or Park Lane. We would even go over to one another's houses from time to time. Our class was about as tight-knit a group as I have ever been a part of. We also had some fun playing games like What Are the Odds? But we knew when it was time to focus and be serious. We know everything about each other, everything except the first 5 numbers and our social security numbers. As tonight comes to an end, a new beginning starts. But I know there will be many more Friday night trips to come. So Class 9, I want to wish y'all the best and thank you for helping me become better. I would like to thank the families of HRFA Class 9 as we came home dirty, tired, smelly, as we stayed up late to study, or we were asleep by 8 after being pushed to our limits each day. We couldn't have made it through these last 4 months without each and every one of y'all. I'll leave y'all tonight on a quote one of the members of our class found. It goes like this: "You just hit the lottery. You have the greatest job in the world. Kids look up to you. The elderly see you as the good old days, and grown men call you on their worst day. You're what's good in man. Service. This job owes you nothing, and as a matter of fact, live as though you owe it everything. You have been given automatic trust by the citizens because of all those who came before you. Don't blow it. Get in there, make a difference, leave it better than you found it, and do your job. So HRFA 9, let's make a difference and leave the greatest job in the world better than we found it." On behalf of Class 9, we would like to present the instructors and the training staff of HRFA with a class gift that we had made for the training center. We present this gift from Class 9 to leave for the training center, along with the picture.
It's time to put some badges on some firefighters. This is the point in our ceremony where a fire recruit transitions and becomes known as a firefighter. The pinning of the badge is a time-honored tradition that signifies that the recruit has finished training and is ready to join their fellow firefighters in serving our communities. I'd like to ask those who are pinning the recruits, please come on stage when your pinnee is called. We're going to start with the chiefs. If y'all want to take your positions, just shake some hands and pass some stuff out. York County Fire and Life Safety, firefighter Ryan Blankenship. Pinning firefighter Blankenship tonight is his grandmother, Rebecca Blankenship. Yes, ma'am. Firefighter Cameron Grassa. Pinning firefighter Grassa is his father, John Grassa, and mother, Becca. Firefighter Brett Hogg. Pinning firefighter Hogg is his father, Richard Hogg, and his mother, Cassie Jenkins. Firefighter Timothy Schmid. Firefighter Schmid is being pinned by his father, Fred Schmid. Firefighter Blankenship will start his career at Station 3C. Firefighter Grassa, will start his career at Station 2A. Firefighter Hogg will start his career at Station 3A. And Firefighter Schmid will start his career at Station 3B. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the firefighters. Dismissed. Also from the York County Department of Fire and Life Safety, firefighter Tyler Seidnitzer. Tyler is being pinned tonight by his wife, Bethany. Oh, it's going to hurt. Firefighter Christopher Soma. Firefighter Soma is being pinned by his mother, Mrs. Margaret Soma, and girlfriend Cheyenne. Firefighter Rachel Waldron. Firefighter Waldron is being pinned by her mom and dad, Chuck and Debbie Zabel. Firefighter Seinitzer will start his career at Station 1, C Shift. Firefighter Soma will start his career at Station 2, C Shift. And Firefighter Waldron will begin her career at Station 1, A Shift. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause? Dismissed. From the Williamsburg Fire Department, Firefighter William Fernald. Firefighter Fernald is being pinned by his parents, Christine and Mark. Firefighter Ryan Johansson. Firefighter Johansson will be pinned by his mom, Miss Peggy Frizzell. Firefighter Benjamin Morrison. Firefighter Morrison will be pinned by his mom and dad, Penny and Tim Morrison. Firefighter Jason Waldman. Firefighter Waldman is being pinned tonight by his wife, Carrie, and his son, Henry. Let Henry do it. Firefighter Fernald will begin his career at Station 1A. Firefighter Johansson will begin his career at Station 1B. Firefighter Morrison will begin his career at Station 1B. And Firefighter Waldman will start his career at Station 1A. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for our Williamsburg firefighters? Dismissed. From the Hampton Division of Fire and Rescue, Firefighter Jason Brandt. Firefighter Brandt is being pinned by his wife Jasmine Curry Brandt, escorted by sons Jason Brandt and Nazir Curry Brandt. Did you say don't stick you? Firefighter Chase Lazito. Chase is being pinned by Kerry Meyer and Jack Lazito. Firefighter Stephen McAvoy. Stephen is being pinned by his father, Paul McAvoy, and brother, Firefighter Chris McAvoy. Three firefighters there, they can't get one badge on. All right. Firefighter Brandt will begin his career at Station 9 B shift. Firefighter Lazito will begin his career at Station 4 C shift. And Firefighter McAvoy will return to the Professional Standards Branch to continue his EMS education. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Hampton's new firefighters. Dismissed. From the James City County Fire Department, Firefighter Douglas Burks. Firefighter Burks is being pinned by his wife, Alexis Oman, and father, Dan Burks. Firefighter Patrick Connor Smith. Firefighter Smith is being pinned by his girlfriend, Jenny Stevens, and uncle, Vince Savona. Firefighter Cody Van Lillefeld. Cody is being pinned by his wife, Melinda. Firefighter Burks will start his career at Station 5A. Firefighter Smith will start his career at Station 3C. And Firefighter Van Lillefeld will start his career at Station 2B. One more round of applause for James City County's newest firefighters. Dismissed. And from the Newport News Fire Department, Firefighter John Jakowski. Firefighter Jakowski is being pinned by his parents, John and Mary Kay Jakowski, and retired Fire Chief Clarence Hilling. Round of applause for Firefighter Jakowski. John will return to the Professional Standards Branch where he will continue his EMS education. Dismissed. Oh, get your helmet first. Now you're dismissed. Now we would like to present the highest GPA award. During the course of the Academy, there are about 14 quizzes, 4 major tests taken. There's also state tests taken for Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, Hazmat Ops, EVOC, and a host of others that these recruits have to score well on. Well, the highest award, the highest GPA of this year, maintained through all that a 94.77 GPA. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's winner of the highest GPA award for Hereford Class Number 9 is Firefighter Ryan Johansson. Now I'd like to call to the front of the stage to administer the firefighter's oath of office, Lieutenant Brandon Shepard. Lieutenant Hood.
Do solemnly swear to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States, the Commonwealth of Virginia, and the regulations of my department. I will protect the lives and property of the citizens of my jurisdiction. I will discharge my duties as a firefighter to the best of my abilities. I will maintain the highest standards of integrity in my chosen profession, so help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the Commonwealth of Virginia's newest firefighters. Seats. Got that part right. Now for a benediction, I'd like to call to the podium Councilwoman Dr. Sandra Cherry.
Good evening. I am so excited and thankful for being allowed to be here tonight with you. Let's give them another round of applause. I think it's worthy. If you would quiet your hearts and minds and let us pray. Graduates, your last words of your firefighter's oath were, "So help me God." So if we leave this place tonight, each time that you are out on a call or at the station, no matter what the situation, no matter what the encounter, no matter what the challenge, remember your words, "So help me God." I pray tonight that you would reflect on all of your training with the long hours behind you, but a bright career in public safety before you. And remember that what was a mere possibility is now a reality. Whatever it took to get you here, you preserved, and you persevered, and you made it. I pray that you will be committed to serve those who supported you in getting you here to this special place, this special time, this special moment. We thank your family, the various jurisdictions, and your Fire Academy staff and instructors for helping you to be successful on your journey to becoming a firefighter. I pray that the efforts of training will be well served, and from this night, you will leave here expected to walk in truth, integrity, accountability, and a commitment to public service, knowing that service to others is one of the greatest gifts that you can give to others. Godspeed to all graduates, and as you leave here tonight, reflect on these words. God has showed you, O man and woman, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, share empathy, and to love kindness, care, and mercy, and to humble yourself and walk humbly before your God. To all of us, as we leave here tonight, please travel safely. Amen.
For the final dismissal of students, Captain West.
On your feet. Class 9, go home. HRFA 9, my brother before me.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for our graduates, please.